Hey everyone, welcome to the Rise Resilient series, where we are coming back to you with stories of resilience and community individual members that have walked through maybe hard times or challenges and are using that experience for good or for change. And so I'm really excited to have the opportunity to interview someone, a young person today, Avery, who we have here to share a little bit more about her experience, who she is, where she's from, some of the things that she's experienced in her journey, in her story, and how she has built up resilience through that process, and the work that she's doing today to spread awareness around the importance of this topic. So thank you so much for being with us today. I'm so pumped to have you be a part of our Rise Resilience series. And so why don't you tell us a little bit more about who you are and where you're from?
Yeah, thank you so much for the introduction. My name's Avery, like you said, and I'm from South Bend, Indiana, small town in northern Indiana. And when I was like a preteen, I unfortunately lost two friends to overdose. And they were very close friends of mine. They were my babysitters growing up, kind of like my mentors. And it was an accidental mistake. They were brothers. And after that happened, I developed a lot of anxiety and fear around going out and things like that. And so I kind of knew after I like really battled anxiety and received help and stuff and found my voice to talk about my anxiety and the struggles that I went through. I figured I could help make that into change and help other people that maybe have experienced that or family members that have experienced that and kind of bringing a voice to anxiety and saying, hey, this is normal. Like, let's talk about it and find a fix for everyone to help.
Mm, I love that. I don't love the experience that you walked through, but I am so grateful to hear, how you're using that experience and how you're talking about it because we are trying to normalize it, right? We're trying to normalize the fact that we all have mental health, right? And we all experience, certain tragedies or challenges. But I can't imagine what that was like for you. You said it happened when you were a preteen. I can only imagine what that experience was like, as I too have lost, individuals, whether it was really close friends, and unfortunately even family members, to what I see as fentanyl poisonings. And it's so frustrating to see how our communities are being impacted today. But I really appreciate how you have used that experience to make an impact. And so, what has that experience been like for you? I know you said, this happened when you were a preteen and you realized how it was affecting you. Like, what was that experience like?
Yeah, I guess didn't really realize entirely like how much it was gonna affect me because I think when it happened I was so young and it was kind of like a denial phase. It was like someone that I had to such a high standard or two people that I had to such a high standard, something like that couldn't happen to them. Like they were deemed invincible in my head. And then as I got older and developed with like the story of what happened and stuff and matured with it and realized what actually happened to them, um, I didn't want to one see any other people go down that path, but then also like all my family and friends around me, seeing them grieve with it and stuff. And I think everyone was kind of grieving in silence. And then when we all started talking about it, it got easier. Not necessarily easier, but it made it smoother, and it gave us all the sense of support around each other, saying, hey, like I'm going through this too, you're not alone type of thing. It wasn't a silent battle anymore. Because that was very hard. Like going to high school and stuff and the expectation of friends going out and doing things and whatever, and substance is often introduced at that age and like young teenage years and stuff like that. And um mine was pure fear around it and stuff, and people didn't understand that. So learning how to talk about it and learning how to say like, hey, we have other options, like we don't have to do that, and stuff. So there was a whole lot of things that was one, like mental health internally, that I like had to come to like almost a realization of, but then also like finding another path of like what group of friends were understanding of that and who I could talk to about it.
Mm.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think that that is a huge part of why a lot of people stay silent, right? Because they do feel like they're the only ones, and they do feel like
Mhm.
nobody else understands or maybe even cares about it. I
Mhm.
know that I too, like my voice was silenced for so long because I didn't think that anybody else would care about what,
Mhm.
maybe I experienced or what I was going through until we recognized and realized like, oh, we're all being impacted, right? Like this is happening to all of us in some way or another. And so
Mhm.
I love that you were able to identify that and recognize it. And even though it's been a journey, right, a process, it's not happened overnight. I think it's pretty incredible to see the actionable steps that you're taking, though, to spread awareness and to talk about
Mhm.
it. And, especially when you say that, like, now your family is able to, share their experiences and really bring more awareness, and just how important that's been for your family is awesome. Do you mind sharing just a little bit more of what has that been like today? I know like your healing process takes a while as we work through it with family and friends, and now you're spreading and sharing your story, and doing incredible work even with our partners at Safe Project. And I just would love to hear more of like how does it feel when you show up today to talk about this conversation?
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard at times, obviously. Grieving processes never really end, I don't think. It's just different stages of them. But it feels good to know, like, even when you get one sense of feedback, like you today, where you say, like, you relate to that topic, or you also, like, went through something like that. And to hear anyone's feedback like that, that says, like, you talking about it is helping me makes me want to talk about it more. So like it makes it a little bit easier each time I do it. Or even just spreading prevention, like talking about it is prevention or is awareness, even if you aren't like 100% acknowledging those words or those topics. Like a small conversation with just one person or a classroom of students, you're still talking about it and getting people's stories out. I think one thing that I always try to stress about my friends that passed away is like this story doesn't define them, and like losing them and stuff, I think that kind of turned into like almost their identity, and taking that away and saying, hey, no, like they were normal kids and it was a mistake that they had made, and I hope that no one else does do this, like that's why I'm talking about it, not to be sad or kind of dwell on it, but to take it in a positive direction so that it doesn't have that negative affect anymore.
Mm, yes, I love that. Taking positive action and just how that is changing the conversation, changing the narrative, disrupting the narrative, of, these are people, right? And people make mistakes. And I do believe that think that a lot of this good from that is happening for a good reason. And I'm really grateful for the work that you're doing, and just speaking out, sharing your story, talking about a really, maybe uncomfortable subject, but like you said, really, really important, very valuable. And just to see the impact that that's had on your own life, but also within your family and within your community that you serve and support. So thank you so much for being a part of this conversation, sharing a little bit of your resilience journey. It has
Yeah.
been an honor to just learn from you, hear from you. And like you said, at the end of the day, when we're able to understand that we're not alone, right? That we're not alone in this fight and against, when it comes to fentanyl and opioids and, losing our loved ones to something, we can share, within these experiences and feel
Mhm.
supported. And so thank you so much. It's a huge reason I have our banner here, that we're putting out on our tour for this next year. It is called the We Are Not Alone Tour, and really highlighting that reason, right? Like we are not alone in the struggles that we face. And no matter what they look like, big or small, they matter, right? Because we matter and our stories matter. So thank you so much for highlighting that today, Avery, being on this call, being a part of our Rise Resilience series. I appreciate you, commend you, and look forward to connecting with you again soon. Is there any last words that you would like to share with our audience, or any last ideas?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you again. I'm excited to be a part of this. But also just like to people out there, like not knowing what to do about it or anything like that, just start conversations. Conversations are a gateway to a lot of change, I think. And I think bridging the gap between all age groups is the best way to start them and stuff. Conversation is a good leeway to everything. So yeah, I'm
Yes,
super excited to make change and rise against this. Absolutely. So
totally. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your day.
thank you.